Welcome to Movie Moments. Oluchi is a singer at a lounge in Lagos. She has a 10-year-old whom she abandoned at birth to her sick father in Enugu. The girl Ihunaya grew up knowing Oluchi as her sister, plus she never came home. Neither did they talk. Oluchi's life is not so great. She had a little squabble with the lounge manager who shortened the money he pays her band. She usually takes 10% of the money and presents the rest to the band, who suspects nothing. Meanwhile, her father has been trying to reach her, but she refuses to pick his calls. Ihunaya tells him not to worry, she'll eventually respond. Ihunaya wakes up the next day to find Papa dead with a message he left Oluchi on his phone. Auntie Waka, a family member, calls Oluchi to inform her of her father's death. Oluchi, however, does not return until the day of the funeral. Some attendees believe her to be an ungrateful child for showing up only after her father's death. 2 weeks later, she visits her aunt to ask if Ihunaya can stay with her. The woman blatantly refuses and finds her so shameless to have let her father cater for her daughter all on his own. She says it's time for her to take responsibility for her actions. Oluchi complains she left the child at the orphanage, but her father brought the child back, so it was his responsibility, not hers. Her aunt sends her away immediately with a parcel for Ihunaya. Oluchi checks the envelope hoping it's money but finds a letter with her parents' wedding ring. She's disappointed as she looked forward to some cash. She visits her friend Chinwe, but before she mentions it, Chinwe suggests she takes good care of Ihunaya herself. She tries selling the wedding rings to her, but Chinwe thinks she shouldn't, since it's her parents' ring and more likely a family heirloom. Chinwe later agrees to buy them from her. Oluchi gets home and hands Ihunaya the letter from Auntie Waka. Ihunaya is a very strong-willed girl with a sharp tongue just like Oluchi. She confronts Oluchi for opening her letter without permission. Oluchi is surprised at the little girl talking back at her. She tells her to go pack her bags. They're leaving for Lagos the next day. The little girl says she's not going anywhere. Ihunaya stands up to her, and when she tries to clap back, Ihunaya tells her she can't tell her what to do because she's not her mother. Ihunaya reads the letter. It was Papa who wrote it to her knowing he would die soon, telling her to be patient with Oluchi and not give her a hard time. So she follows Oluchi back to Lagos, but does not fail to air her opinion about Oluchi's house and lifestyle. It's obvious they have no regard for one another. Later that night, there's a loud bang at the door. It's Charity, Bishop's girlfriend, her housemate. Charity is angry Oluchi ate her food and comes knocking. Oluchi unapologetically closes the door on them. The next day, Bishop comes to see Oluchi. Ihunaya gets the door and he introduces himself as her mother's friend, but she interjects saying she's her sister. Oluchi joins them and tells him not to bother apologizing for his girlfriend's action last night. The guy is offended she expects him to apologize for eating his food. Ihunaya and Oluchi both attack him on the spot. He came to collect bills for the house but got insults instead. Oluchi considers him mean and heartless for asking for money from her after she just buried her father with all she had. As she goes back in, Ihunaya can't believe she lies a lot. She didn't spend a dime on her father's burial. Ihunaya asks why Bishop thought she was her daughter, not sister. She does not respond, however. Bishop later finds Oluchi in the living room looking concerned. When he asks what's wrong with her, she tells him off. Bishop realizes she hasn't smoked in a while. He laughs but finds it commendable that she stopped smoking because Ihunaya is around. At rehearsal, she's still uneasy, so the guys tell her to relax for a bit. One of them hears Ihunaya humming and tells them to give her a mic instead. The guys are baffled and ask why Oluchi never told them. Oluchi is shocked herself. She asks how long Ihunaya has been singing. She responds since she was 3 years old. Papa taught her as he did Oluchi. Oluchi steps out of the room for some air. She remembers when Bishop asked her when she plans on telling Ihunaya she's her mother, and she told him off. The guys call her inside to know if it's okay for Ihunaya to take her part of the song at the lounge, since she's not feeling too well, and she agrees. While they play at the bar with Ihunaya, the manager shares his displeasure for a little girl singing at his bar. He believes he will make the news for aiding child labor. He tells her to get Ihunaya off the stage immediately. Luckily, that little performance got them better gigs and they start getting a little popularity. Bankole recognizes Oluchi and goes to find her at the lounge. He claims he's Ifunaya's father and wants to connect back with his family. Oluchi and her band tell him off. Ihunaya comments that her father is dead and buried, while Bankole wonders why Oluchi hasn't told Ihunaya she's her mother. Oluchi says he's not the father. She merely pinned the pregnancy on him. She tells Ihunaya the man is not her father, but the little girl does not believe her, calling her a thief and a prostitute. Out of anger, she slaps Ihunaya, so the girl gets upset and tells the band she's been cheating them of the money they make from their gigs. While they argue amongst themselves, Ihunaya goes missing and they all go in search of her. They later find her. Meanwhile, she refuses to eat or talk to Oluchi. Oluchi apologizes for her outburst. Ihunaya says she will never be her mother. She would have better attitude. Oluchi tells her her father's name is Fidelis. We're taken 11 years back when Oluchi walked out on Fidelis because he had no money and followed Bankole, who was rich at the time. Fidelis begged her, but she left either ways and he was devastated. Years later, Fidelis is successful while Bankole is a taxi driver. She left him after finding out she's pregnant, scared he couldn't take care of the pregnancy. Days later, Bankole found a test strip in the bin and assumed the baby was his and she didn't object. Months later, their home was raided by EFCC and they were both arrested. While Bankole served time in jail, Oluchi returned back to the village and had her baby. Her father named the baby Ihunaya. One day, Oluchi packed her bags to leave for Lagos. Her father asked where she kept the baby, but she refused to tell him, so he beat the truth out of her. They went to retrieve the baby from the orphanage against her wish. She left for Lagos, however, and never returned until her father's death. Back to present day, Oluchi wakes up and finds Ihunaya is gone. She trails her back to Enugu days later. The girl took her money and got Bishop's girlfriend Charity to help her get a bus ticket back. Auntie Waka tells her Ihunaya came back to her, but she's in school at the moment. She takes her to teacher Pius, who explains why Ihunaya is in school. Apparently, she sat for exams before Papa died and won a scholarship into secondary school with a cash prize of 250,000 naira. Papa was able to pay half the fees and hoped to get half from Oluchi before he died. Oluchi begs to see Ihunaya immediately, but the teacher says she must wait until the next visiting day since Ihunaya was admitted into a boarding facility. On the way home, Auntie Waka tells her the money Papa used to pay for Ihunaya's exams were meant for his drugs to help his high blood pressure. Oluchi still argues it's not her fault. She never asked him to do any of that. Auntie Waka finds her very foolish. Oluchi goes home feeling sorry for all her actions. She gets permission to see Ihunaya, but the girl claims she doesn't know her. She apologizes for everything as she breaks down in tears, telling her how much she loves her before leaving. Oluchi decides to pay a visit to Fidelis, who is happily married with 2 kids. She tells him he has a daughter and he's in no mood to listen to her any further. The more she tries to explain, the angry he gets, so he throws her out of his house. She gets home to fight with Bishop's girlfriend Charity for helping Ihunaya leave. Bishop separates them and tells Charity to pack up and leave his house. Fidelis pays Ihunaya a visit in school and tells her he thinks he's her father, according to her mom. But Ihunaya says he's rich and Oluchi is probably in need of money. That's why she lied to him. He finds her very amusing and explains he came with a doctor to take samples to run a DNA test to confirm the paternity if she's interested. She agrees to do it so everyone could rest. Meanwhile, Oluchi gets back her parents' ring she sold to her friend. Fidelis comes back with the paternity test, which is positive. Ihunaya is ready to accept him, but he says he cannot be the father she wants because he has his own family. He will, however, take care of her school fees and whatever needs she may have. Ihunaya interjects saying she needs a father, not a sponsor, before walking out on him. Fidelis visits Oluchi at the lounge and expresses his displeasure on her actions, also adding he cannot accept Ihunaya without affecting his family. He gives her a check to use in raising Ihunaya, but she rips it in pieces and walks away. Oluchi later apologizes to her band for cheating them and returns the money she saved. It's a year later, her father's death anniversary. She finds Auntie Waka with Ihunaya at the graveside. Auntie Waka excuses the two, while Oluchi apologizes once again and begs Ihunaya to take her to be her mother. She forgives her and they both hug it out. Instantly, Oluchi gets a call from the lounge manager who bears good news. A producer has declared interest in one of her songs and wants to meet her, but problem is, she parted ways with her band and they made the song together. He encourages her to ask the band and not assume they won't be interested in working with her ever again. She gives them a call and they agree. The movie signs out with Ihunaya and her mother on set with Waje, who hopes to do more collabs with her in the future. On their way home, Ihunaya calls Oluchi watching Mommy for the first time. The end. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Tune in for more movie moments.